PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Thursday, March 28th versus the Grand Rapids Rise at CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 6 p.m. with first serve at 7. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network. Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Old School with DP and J.
Do you think it's too early to talk about Patrick Mahomes as the greatest of all time? You know, to be honest with you, I think he might be on ahead of the pace. It was definitely on pace, maybe ahead of the pace. I think right now everything that he does is going to get overblown, and I think people so quickly forgot the 20-year run of the Patriots. Not 5-6 years, 20-year run of Tom Brady and the Patriots.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This isn't any regular heat. This is nuclear heat. Live from the 93.7 The Ticket studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Bringing you the latest from the Square Circle on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Jake Bakovic.
Nice to be with you on another nice Tuesday evening here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Though it was a little bit chilly today for my liking. But in any case, still a good time to jump in and talk some wrestling here on 93.7 The Ticket. Probably our earliest time slot that we've had in a while, Hockey. From 8 to 9 here, we will run with you in wrestling. If you don't like wrestling, well, maybe a child in you once did, and you'll still enjoy the show. But seriously, if you don't like wrestling, you're not going to enjoy the show because that's what we're talking about. So it is a fun time. I just like to warn some people in front. Wrestling is, I think, is understood. The people that don't like it generally really don't like it for some reason. Yeah, so I just let people know. I think that's a fair thing to do. I'm Jake Buckman, by the way. This is Augie Pena. I'm your host. He is your Nuclear Heat contributor. Augie, the wrestling has been good, though, so it is fun. To talk about it, of course, leading up into WrestleMania. And typically we break down SmackDown and Raw in several different segments, excuse me. But today we're just going to lead off with some, we don't want to bury the lead, basically, a term in journalism. You don't want to bury the lead, and the lead is what happened last night on Monday Night Raw. And so we'll talk about that in front of the show instead of in the back. So in any case, as we get to it, the WWE looked very cinematic last night. It was probably the best outcome possible for a Jey Uso Shinsuke Nakamura fight.
It was.
For some reason, it broke out into the main event of WrestleMania to close out the show. And this was a show that was in Chicago. CM Punk's hometown already had that heat bring to it. But the fact that The Rock showed up, and they didn't promote that The Rock was showing up. It kind of gave it the true pop that I kind of felt was very nice. It's just kind of, in the days and age, everything gets spoiled. And so even The Rock's return, CM Punk's return, a lot of these things, CM Punk's return was pretty good, surprising, after Randy Orton's return there. So some things can be held tight and some things are hard to do so. And so this is not The Rock's first return, but it just felt nice to kind of get that moment throughout this run up to WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was amazing. Everybody was surprised he was there. That was a huge pop.
Yeah.
That was a huge pop for The Rock. And it's amazing just what kind of a presence he has, because he did not say a word in that first segment. He goes up, confronts Cody, all that stuff, whispers something in his ear, and it was magic. It kept you wanting to see more, and they paid that off later on in the match. At the end of the show when they went off, it was that last segment, the Rock and Cody. But man, it was great. It was really good. I really liked it. They didn't promote that because it was going to be big with CM Punk anyways in Chicago, and then The Rock showing up. Yeah, The Rock showing up was great, and I just thought, man, this Raw was one of the better Raws I've seen. Even there was one match I was kind of just like, whatever. Candice LeRae, sorry, again, but the rest of it I thought was great, and they were throwing Easter eggs in, kind of had people talking in the background behind other segments, and it was just great. They had blood, they had the Attitude Era, they had all that stuff just right back. And it really took me back to like the early the 90s, the 2000s when we were just little kids. And man, that was great. I think that's why we, still hold on to that wrestling, is hoping, even through this PG era that, they'll go back to that, that they'll bring that. And man, they brought it last night at Raw.
Yeah, it's a weird segment of WWE fans that we are that don't necessarily always like the wrestling we're watching and complain about it. And at times, I can say in the last 10 years, it hasn't always been great. Sometimes the storylines aren't good. The kind of have 50-50 booking. Sometimes just doesn't. Vince McMahon has said so in the past that he doesn't want to build stars up to be the Hulk Hogan's or Steve Austin's of old, because if they jump ship, then you got a problem there. So even the own idea of building stars was kind of lost on WWE for a while. But you're right. Just even the simplest thing you could do in wrestling is have some of your roster talking to the other roster in the back scenes, and it just gets you thinking for some different things that are going to happen. In any case, we better get to the scene that you were talking about, though, too, as well, which was the kind of the image that is left for us now leading into this next week of wrestling, was an absolute beatdown in Chicago from The Rock to Cody Rhodes. Of course, this was, again, the Jey Uso Shinsuke Nakamura match. Just blew off, and all the main members of all four basically WrestleMania main events all got involved. Everybody started hitting everybody. McIntyre comes in and hits Rollins, who was, so McIntyre, who was talking to Paul Heyman earlier in the show in one of those Easter egg segments, like you said, made that surprise return. But again, the image that we're left with is a bloody Cody Rhodes, a bloody belt outside in the rain in Chicago with The Rock standing over him. This must be Final Boss Rock. That's the new term they're giving him. That is who the final boss is. Okay.
Yeah, and it was just great because he's just throwing him around everywhere. He kept saying the whole Mama Rhodes. He's like, I told you I was gonna make you bleed, and he dropped a couple curse words in there. It's just it was different. It just and just the way, like you said, it was more like a movie. Not like we were watching two wrestlers interact. It was like straight out of a Hollywood movie, and it was well done. And there was a time where I thought The Rock was going to throw Cody off of that bridge, because he had him up against it.
That's what they had you wondering.
And sometimes, they have something under there and they'll do that. And I was thinking,
Mysterio got tossed off a building a couple of years ago.
Yeah, during COVID when they had the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, Titan Towers.
People were like, he got killed. He thrown, and honestly, like I watched a couple reaction videos, and watching them, people were like, "That's murder." He's about to commit a murder. And in my mind, I'm like, that's genius. You take Cody Rhodes away, but they didn't go down that road. They just kept, and then the blood, and it was everywhere. And The Rock, like, nasty, but smearing it over himself on The Rock, on that, and just kept throwing them. And
so whatever he told him in the ring earlier, which we still don't know what it was, I think is inconsequential somewhat at this point. I probably told him he's going to have him bloodied and hanging by a bus later.
And, they kept asking, the interviewers, and Cody said The Rock can't keep that promise.
Yeah.
now I'm even more intrigued. I know he just got beat, but it's like, how's Cody going to come back from that? They've really built The Rock now. And The Rock's always had like that, every time he's come back, because it's been like 20 years almost since he's been like an actual full-time
full-time. Yeah, pop back up for WrestleMania.
He pops back up, but man, it just feels like he's full on heel again. All of our predictions about a heel, a turn on Roman Reigns, I think, man, if they do that, it's, like, I don't know what they're going to do now, because The Rock has gone full heel. I love it.
Well, that's what's interesting is that, there's been this talk leading into the Final Four match, basically, as I think of it as a basketball fan, but the two part of WrestleMania where you have the tag team leading up to a main event for night one, leading up to the main event, having, an outcome factor into the main event of night two. And so that's what was so intriguing about all this is everybody's getting thrown in. I thought at one time, like the Rollins and McIntyre stuff, I don't know how interested I'd be. Like when he won the spot at WrestleMania, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But McIntyre's just done fantastic with it. I think Rollins did fantastic with it. We didn't really mention this yet, the promo with CM Punk, which was crazy in of its own. And it was fun because at the beginning of this segment, like the crowd could play along and have fun with this too.
Yeah.
When The Rock showed up, they like wrestling fans have had just kind of the same chants for a while. That This is awesome. Got going. They were pretty pro Rocky to begin the segment. By the end, they were booing for The Rock. And so it was a lot of fun. But my point is that at some point when the guy, you could tell the star couldn't be any brighter from the WWE universe on The Rock and Cody Rhodes that they made the right choice. That like, this is all turning out well. And then they start chanting CM Punk just because the wrestling universe and it's in Chicago. They're and that's one of their chants. That's one of the chants they've had since CM Punk left and made his return so great this year. And it's crazy to think that, an injury away from CM Punk, what would his role be in all this? I mean, what were the plans there? It's just been a crazy ride in wrestling. And if you can't tell, we're pretty interested in how they're going to put it all together.
Yeah, and part of the CM Punk segment was they were kind of teasing how they're going to involve him in that world heavyweight. And man, it just, like you said, I feel like it would have been a triple threat, if he's not hurt. But one of the things that, as excited as I am for everything, we still got to remember the main event of all WrestleMania is supposed to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, which has taken a back seat to everything. Literally everything. Like Roman Reigns was on SmackDown on Friday. I thought that was probably one of the worst segments they've had, that's just involving all that. It wasn't a lot. So for everything we're getting excited for night one, the tag team, all that of, what the outcome is, it's just like, you forget that Roman Reigns is supposed to be like the main part of this. And it feels like The Rock has really taken that over. Yeah. So that's interesting too, because, their family, they've embraced this, but Roman Reigns has always been talking. He's the head, he's the chief. It's him, and The Rock's going around. He's the final boss, kind of doing everything and all that stuff. I'm intrigued, man. I'm ready to see what we got. 3 weeks. 3 weeks
it's
for
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
pretty much
till WrestleMania, and we're gonna see where all this pays off for. So I'm excited.
Well, and two, I think the recent movement has, like you said, kind of turned down the speculation that The Rock would turn on Roman, which obviously was kind of the idea for a WrestleMania in general. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is part 2 of a trilogy. I think next year you could have Cody and Roman. If you have Roman win this year, you have enough pieces in play that they, with the Usos. I mean, there's just bring Sammy back into it. WWE won't do it, but it's an easy enough play at any time. They want to spice this up a little bit more. Is drag Sammy from losing right before WrestleMania and needing to be the motivational play along pal that nobody wants to win. I mean, it's hard, while they're doing so good in some spots, that one I feel like they've just, if I'm Sami Zayn, I would just sit back and say, how am I of all people left out of the money being made this year?
Yeah, it's just crazy because, like you said, last year he was hot. He was so on fire. Like everybody wanted him to be the one that dethroned Roman Reigns. The bloodline. He was hilarious. He was great. He was the strong point of the bloodline.
He had the natural story. Like WWE didn't force it. They just kind of were tinkering, and then it became its own thing.
Yep. And he had the crowd overall in Montreal. And like it was just there. And then they put him back with Kevin Owens, and they finally went. And now, we talk about it. He's the guy facing Gunther, and nobody wants him there. And he lost. Like It doesn't make sense. And like you said, they can bring him back, and I think it'd be a little bit different because he's kind of on, I don't know, he's on Cody's side. It's just everything's so messy though. It still is so messy because it's like, because then you got the tease, we haven't even got into, everybody keeps saying Seth Rollins, is going to betray Cody. They keep asking Cody. Drew McIntyre is going to be involved in that night one, with everything that's going on. It's going to be like the whole roster, like
Damian Priest always has a briefcase if the Judgment Day wants to get involved.
Dude, you forget about that, because they don't mention that anymore. And it's like,
which is good.
Yeah.
Because that usually means they're setting you up.
And, it's like anything can happen. And that's a beautiful thing right now. I think, for those that don't know, Triple H is in charge. He's the one kind of creatively making a lot of these decisions. He's hitting the mark. I know we were doubting him a couple weeks ago, but man, the storytelling, everybody's ability, and even like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, I feel like a lot of that promo was unscripted. Just, hey, go out there and just insult each other. Because you could tell by their faces, they were taken aback by what some of them said and, by what one of them said. And they just kept going back and forth. And I was just like, I'm here for this, just let two guys just go at it.
Well, it was intriguing too, because I was wondering how they're going to do it. CM Punk and Rollins have like this almost the outside of the locker room play, WWE kayfabe basically is that they don't necessarily seem to they're at least had a battle of words while they worked for separate companies. So there might be a natural dislike between the two. And so they were going to have to find a way, and he's kind of he's your good guy. And you have him being the bad guy to CM Punk in Chicago and the crowd still singing his song. Seth Rollins in this character is so unique in a way that I don't even know how to describe because I still don't get it, right? Like I get the fashion thing, but I just think there's such cooler versions of Seth Rollins that we've seen before. But this is the one that he likes, and it's wildly over. It's working. Like adding him into the mix is working. And that's the special part of wrestling too, is like, I've heard just about everybody question Seth Rollins' character now because you don't quite get it. Yeah. But now crowds are singing aren't outright booing him. Yeah. Going up against CM Punk in the ring. In the WWE, I don't even know what they felt the reaction was going to be as they sent those guys in the ring. So sometimes it's just fun to watch the WWE play with factors that are outside of their control. And
I loved it because I thought Drew and CM Punk were just doing such an amazing job. And you add Seth. He almost didn't even feel necessary in that part. He came in. He did great too. They delivered.
McIntyre before the end,
and
which is why he got
super
his
kicked him, all later. That stuff. It was great, but man, CM Punk is just gold. I really hope, because that one thing was, oh yeah, should he be the referee? And they're like, I'm sorry, that's his counting hand. And CM Punk goes down and does it with his left hand, like 1, 2, 3. I can do this, with the left hand. And oh man, dude, that was gold. Like this was one of the Raws where it's like I said, other than the Candice LeRae match, which I'm gonna keep bringing up because I don't get where they're going with all that.
It gives her something to do, but it's crazy. It's in a busy WrestleMania season.
Because Ricochet and the Judgment Day have their things. Sami Zayn has his story. The Bloodline, Cody Rhodes. They have so much. The tag championships.
If it makes you feel any better, they did a quick match. They didn't try to draw it out too much.
but what I'm saying is it's like it was such a good, I would have given it, I would rate it like a 9 out of 10 Raw. I thought it was great. R-Truth on the commentary was hilarious when the Judgment Day went to attack him. He's like, cut to commercial. It's like it was hilarious. And it's like everything was so great. Man, that, like I said, I just can't get over the fact that it was just such a great Raw. It was fun. I was engaged. I was ready. I rewatched it again today. I normally do, but
you were really into the
I was into
Andrade
it. I loved
Giovanni Vinci match.
Okay, I forgot about that one. That one was there too. I forgot that one happened. But you know what? That was a good match. It was a good solid match, and they're gonna go somewhere with Andrade because he was one of those Easter eggs in the back talking with Dom. So, he can be involved with the Judgment Day. So,
which is weird too. And it's fascinating is that, obviously the Judgment Day going through their own characters. I mean, obviously Rhea Ripley wildly over now too. So some of them are good, some of them are bad, but Andrade, they're trying to bring in as a good guy. And I don't know if it's working. So it's almost like they've got their own, all right, well, he would be pretty darn cool, and if we put him in Judgment Day, even if he's a bad guy, and they're not wrong. So I feel like they're at least got something to play there if they need to.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say this. Somebody made a joke. They called him Andrade Flair, because he's married to Charlotte Flair. And I think he did one of her moves. in that match. I'd have to look into it, but I think it'd be great because he is kind of right now he's always been like a heel, I feel, when he was here last time in that. But I feel like the Judgment Day, man, we talked about it. You don't want to get too big, but you bring more members, break it up, then you have two factions of it.
Yeah.
One goes to SmackDown, half of them go to SmackDown, half of them go to Raw. I mean, it's gold. They're just doing great things with the Judgment Day, and even JD McDonough. They have a story for
They
him.
can put on a good match.
I mean, he's losing, but he's great in the ring. You watched it. I mean, and Dom is their jobber, and he's one of the most. He's got that nuclear heat on him, and
Right.
it's just funny. Everything they do is great right now with Judgment Day, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I love it too. I love Judgment Day. I mean, Bloodline's crazy interesting. The faction, I always liked faction wrestling too. And AEW knows that a lot of fans love faction wrestling. They almost overdo it a little bit too much. And WWE's kind of done a little bit of that in the last couple of years too. So we did get a hello from Sean. Sean, thanks for saying hello on Facebook. If anybody wants to text in or type in or chime in their thoughts here, once again, this is Nuclear Heat, WWE Week in Review show here on 93.7 The Ticket. 402-464-5685 if you want to text in. We'll go ahead and take a quick break, then we'll come back. We kind of broke down the bigger stories there, but we can get into the nitty-gritty details, of SmackDown and Raw. We'll do SmackDown from Milwaukee coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures. All things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Back to Nuclear Heat with your host, Jake Bakoven, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back on Nuclear Heat on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bakoven. This is our WWE Week in Review show, and I'm joined by Nuclear Heat contributor Augie Pena. We ran through the first, just kind of the newsworthy stuff going on after last night's Raw. Now we'll quickly run through SmackDown and Raw, get to the little bit of the nitty-gritty, the other matches that were kind of going on around our main event stars that we'll see at WrestleMania. So let's jump right into it because they jumped right into it. Rey Mysterio against Santos Escobar. Again, this is SmackDown from Milwaukee last Friday. LWO and Legado del Fantasma both banned from ringside. So this is obviously a payoff to a long-term story building of these guys hating each other. Santos obviously turned on Rey at one time as he sees it and was in the LWO. In any case, this was kind of interesting. In that Mysterio is returning and had a lot of ring rust. Yeah. I don't know if that was storytelling or not. Because it almost over happened, so it sounds like a concern. Rey is someone that you have to respect because he can still go really well at his age, and he's been doing it since we were kids, like you said. So that was a little even hard for me to watch as a Rey Mysterio fan, and I couldn't tell if it was part of the story or not.
Yeah, and I don't know because he's what, 50, almost 50. He's getting, and you know, for doing what he does, I mean, at the age of almost 50, like that is incredible, like you said. But yeah, he hasn't really wrestled in a match in over 2-3 months. But you think somebody that's done it their whole life, you know, they just have bad days. But after watching it, I kind of do feel like they were maybe trying to oversell it. You know, it was maybe a little bit of a work in there to see that. But yeah, it was great to see him back in there, and then that ending. That ending, man, who came up and interfered, that was a big surprise to me. I wonder where they're going with that.
That's right. It was Dom Mysterio showing up with the distraction, helping Santos Escobar getting the win. But more importantly, Dom Mysterio back in the mix with Rey. Can they just hotshot this to WrestleMania? Would you like it? I mean, it's almost like it's just sitting there asking to be done, but this would be pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it because I could see it, the Judgment Day faction kind of getting involved with, you know, the, Liga del Fantasma and LWO, like kind of having that. I could see it. I could see Dom costing whatever Rey's doing at WrestleMania, you know, kind of doing that.
Rey's got to have something to do, though.
Yeah, 2 weeks is kind of hard, and they have Dom doing nothing, you know. So, I mean, you could do it, and I just don't. It's always great, you know, they did try it, you know, or they did it, you know, and they kind of went from there. Man, 2 weeks, so that's really hard to build something. But they have the hate there, you know, or the hate, between Dom and his father. So they could do something.
Well, it's just interesting because this LWO versus Legado del Fantasma thing has been months. A lot of story. I mean, maybe this was the plan to have Rey. You should use Rey while you have him. Like we said, now 49 years old. So try to have a plan for Rey. Maybe that was the plan, and then they decide at this minute, you know what's better than that is Dominic in a mask, and they're right. So I mean, I'm a big Mysterio family fan, but I would not have a problem with that being a WrestleMania match. I've been asking all year for Dom to be involved, and they haven't quite pushed him, but that's where we're at there. Then we had Grayson Waller and Austin Theory against Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Theory and Waller ultimately defeat the OC and move on in the tournament. Any big things to talk about out of there? I mean, he almost felt like the OC was just there to take the pin, basically.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is I feel bad for Carl Anderson because I feel like he has the ability, he has the moves, and Luke Gallows is just too slow and kind of brings him down. But, they've been together forever. But yeah, no, I mean, nothing really off of that. I mean, you knew that Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, you got to have them in this WrestleMania match. They're going to be the comedy kind of guys that I could see, taking some big spots there, and they're young. Right move here. But yeah, you got to feel for the OC, man. They got released, brought back, and with AJ Styles, it's all back, and then they're essentially jobbers, at this point.
And I can speak like almost from an outsider's point of view because I did go away from wrestling for a while. So when they brought them back, the first time I saw them, I was impressed, and I was like, okay, these guys could be a real problem. And then once they decided, I don't know what day it was, some random Monday or Friday, once they decided to turn on them, they have not brought them back up. That has been a team that just takes pins, and it's weird. But I mean, I don't know. You would think merchandise sells. Maybe that's all AJ. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. They don't get behind them. And Gallows has been around WWE for years doing different parts. So it's very interesting. And Waller in Theory, though, I think it's funny because they're kind of like Pretty Deadly, except for not the joke. You know what I mean? Like young, handsome guys that everybody wants to hate because they're talking too much trash. And Pretty Deadly is like a joke of that. So it's kind of interesting. And I think they've already ran into each other before. So I'm not necessarily looking for a showdown, but I just kind of thought about that there. Then we have Naomi and Io Sky, the champion. Before she came to the ring, Naomi had conversations backstage with both Bayley and Bianca Belair. Of course, Bianca not necessarily getting along with Bayley. Io Sky was late for her entrance then to this match because she was beating up Bayley. So there you have that. Nice little shots before WrestleMania from Damage Control. Then Damage Control ends up in providing a distraction so Sky can hit the over the moonsault for the pin. Naomi tried to fight. The rest of the stable jumps in, starts fighting her. Belair tried to come out for the save, but Damage Control stands tall. I really like this because I think Damage Control, like Io Sky especially alone, and they've known this the whole time, isn't going to look very threatening if it's just her because she doesn't weigh very much, to be quite honest. She's not very big. And so to have the Damage Control feeling at least booked like almost stronger than it ever was with the original three. Like they just feel like they're more of a problem now.
Yeah. And also we last week said when was the last time Io was in the ring? She killed it in the ring. Like she is amazing. Like those, the what's her move? The over the moonsault. Yeah. She does phenomenal. The only thing
I love how she steps on her opponent just to add a little salt into the wound. It's awesome.
The only thing, and we kind of talk about this sometimes, is the believability. Like, do I believe she could one-on-one sneak up on Bayley and attack her kind of like she did before her match? Not really. But she is a champion, so she has that plot armor. But the rest of this segment I thought was great. The only thing is I don't like how they're using Belair because I want her to go against Jade Cargill or something like that at WrestleMania, and it doesn't seem like they're going down that road. It seems like she's going to be slid into this, along with Naomi, who we've also talked, we didn't know what's going to happen. But yeah, they're building this up. I still believe Bayley's going to take it, but man, they're making Damage Control look like they're not going to lose. It's looking like Io can, in the ring, she can hold her own. Like we said, she can fly, over the moon, do all that stuff. So, I was sold on it. I thought it was a great segment for them, on there. And man, I just, that over the moonsault, like I know I mentioned it before, but that thing was beautiful watching that happen. So.
Yeah. And it's interesting with Bianca, something you mentioned there too. I don't know what they have for her at WrestleMania. I know that they've started, and I was trying to look it up. I don't know if it's like 6 wins or something, but they're 3-0 at WrestleMania, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they've already kind of started to talk about this WrestleMania streak, which it's always a good idea. I mean, for Undertaker, it was so unbelievable when he lost. I don't know if you can recapture that pre-Undertaker loss streak of WrestleMania, but you can get something going in the women's division. I don't know if they have a match for her. And who would she beat?
Because I mean, because we got 2 weeks till WrestleMania, so Jade Cargill hasn't even she's not done anything. Like Tiffany Stratton, you can't feed her. Naomi, are they gonna somehow do like they have 2 weeks to figure this out? And Belair is one of the more accomplished, athletically gifted, just talent they have, and they literally have her right now being a sidekick. But like you said, they're promoting that, and they just have nothing for her. So I honestly, right now, at the top of my mind, I don't know. I don't know the SmackDown roster. Who's on the sidelines? Could they Michonne? Unfortunately, could they just throw her in there? Something like that. I mean,
you mentioned too, like, and this is in Raw later, but we were talking about it in the break. Like Liv Morgan and Nia Jax were just kind of these side characters to these stories, and then we don't see them this week. And you do kind of, now they're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. You do kind of think, oh, they've gotten some TV time, but they're not. They're not part of the marquee.
Do they surprise us with like a women's battle royale that's going to take place, before it on the pre-show, and they count that? I don't think you can count
won't be
that,
named
though.
after Ronda Rousey. We learned this week.
No. Oh, Mae Young. They have the Mae Young Classic in that, so I mean, they could do like the Mae Young battle royale or something like that. Have the hand, that she gave birth to, be the trophy. Oh man, scars from the early 2000s they gave us for those, but I have no idea. This is Raw was so good. I feel like SmackDown was good too, but there's just so many more holes in the SmackDown storylines because you feel like there's so many people that just don't have directions, and they're getting the TV time, and you're looking at it, you're like, okay, but in 2 weeks, what are they doing on the grandest show of them all? It makes no sense to me.
Well, I hope what happens is that it has a very competitive Andre the Giant Battle Royale because I think I'm the biggest Andre the Giant Battle Royale fan simply because of liking Andre the Giant and Giants in general and the Giant idea in the wrestling industry. But that has not elevated in status over the years. So I think I'm the only one that's too excited about it.
It went from the pre-show of WrestleMania to the Friday before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's kind of where, you know what? I'm just going to throw my hat in there. Why don't they just make, what would you call it? A non-gender battle royale. Just have everybody that doesn't have a match, that way Nia Jax can go against, the likes of, whoever doesn't have Bronson Reed, something like that. We could have, she likes to put herself in Royal Rumbles anyways.
Yeah.
So, just go for it. Everybody just go. Everybody would watch that. I guarantee you 100%.
You're selling tickets there. I'm not questioning that.
I mean, WWE Creative, I'm available. If any of you listen, we're here. We're ready.
Oh, we better quickly get back on topic here. So Kevin Owens, and this is back on topic. Kevin Owens punches both members of Pretty Deadly out at the same time. That's in the backstage segment. But that's an interesting segment because wrestling also wants you to put up your blinders sometimes, and KO and RKO are obviously headed toward a buddy breakup, and they're getting together as buddies just weeks before facing each other. Doesn't make any sense, but we at least have RKO and KO, the breakup of the long tag team that we always just loved since they started it this week. And I guess we did. I mean, they do have the RKO into the, they've got some good stuff. The powerbomb, they've done some good stuff. But they haven't really been a tag team. So it's kind of interesting. Sometimes as a wrestling fan, you have to go, what? That makes no sense. Is he stupid? And then you realize you're the stupid one yelling at the TV.
I mean, it's the truth. There's a lot of times it's like, I shouldn't let that bug me. That ruined my night. It's like, oh yeah, because Randy Orton and KO, hey, did you see that tag team that was just made? They broke up. It just doesn't make sense. I agree with you.
I see the hole in your story. So you mean other than all of the holes in the story of wrestling?
Yeah. Every week we're like, this doesn't make sense. And then the next week we come back, we're like, oh yeah, that paid off. That was great.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's the fun part about wrestling though. But no, I agree with you. I was a little confused as well. I want them all to be heels. I said this, I want KO, Randy to just turn heel because I think that's when they do their best work, and we'll see. I mean, they turn on each other the Friday before SmackDown. Something big happens. They all hate each other.
Yeah.
Hey,
you just wrote it. You don't have to watch SmackDown now next week.
All right. I'll have a pass there. On that,
what's gonna happen.
But I think that would be money. All three just playing dirty. We talked about it. They're kind of going with that heel versus heel, babyface for babyface again. They're kind of bringing that back a little bit. Why not? Three great heels just going against each other.
Well, and I think Logan should win that one. So it's kind of interesting that they're distracting you on the side with them. But RKO, he's Randy Orton's basically like Triple H, where he can win anytime, even when he shouldn't. And you're still like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So my only thing is, would the U.S. champ count as a world championship?
No,
to Randy? No, that's a secondary.
Yeah, it's a secondary title.
It's always confusing to me. You know,
Yeah.
they're like, this is a good title. It's like, nah, that's, you know, not you,
Yeah.
not you. So
no, the big title is that one they made up, and so for some reason that one's already elevated over the long reigning titles. But.
Okay, they need to make another belt then. That's just for Randy Orton to kind of surpass everybody there on that because he's at 14.
Yeah,
14.
Yep.
Yeah,
needs 2 more to tie.
I mean, he's available.
I think Triple H is at 15, but he might not get one more.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Never mind then. Scratch.
There's a certain ego that's writing the whole story that might disagree. But I love Triple H, so I don't care if he doesn't give Randy another one. But I'm sure he will.
Agreed.
As long as Randy can stay healthy, because man, is that a good character. In any case, we move on. Street Profits and Authors of Pain. This was at SmackDown. We figured out we were kind of confused last week. Their tag team wrestlers face each other for the right to face each other.
Yeah.
And instead of on Raw, they were just giving away seats at WrestleMania for the 6-pack challenge or 6 tag team challenge. They end up having the Street Profits pretty much bury the Authors of Pain. I mean, this is a very quick match. And Authors of Pain came out with the Final Testament. The whole group was out there. And this was just, I mean, for something that already wasn't getting over that, I mean, could have potential.
Yeah.
This was very strange and not good for AOP, just to be straightforward.
Dude, and AOP looked like the total package. They're like what, 6'6", like
I don't think they're
guys.
mic guys, but I think that they still. I think that there's still money left on the table from what they've done with them.
Well, isn't that why they're with Karrion Kross and Scar? Like they're in that faction is to give them
be the muscle. That they look like.
But
and they never are.
Triple H, creative, all that stuff. They're like, nah, that's and that's such a shame because like we've talked about the Street Profit as well. They have money on their side too. Like them, Bobby Lashley. Like you would think that'd be great. Nothing's paying off from this. I mean, honestly, this was one of the weaker matches of the night, just in terms of just storytelling and everything there. But like you said, it's a preliminary round to get into, the final, to get to WrestleMania. It's confusing. It's just making SmackDown
all in something that Judgment Day should just win anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, unless R-Truth does.
My boy R-Truth he's gonna split the belts. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, it's just it's a shame to see what they're doing here. But the segment filled. Like we say every week, we're going to say it. TV time is better than no TV time.
Right.
So
yeah, it works out for him. All right. And then we had the Roman Reigns stare down with Cody, which led to Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa eventually showing up in the crowd. Also Jey Uso and Seth Rollins. So, each guy said they're going to show up alone. Neither guy did. And there's a stare down to end SmackDown. It didn't really move the story forward. And we don't have any more time for SmackDown, but I think that's fair because we opened with talking about Raw so much on the show because that ending was done and actually paid off a little bit. This one was just kind of like, all right, let's stall. Let's have something that they're kind of trying to figure out. And then do we want to cheer for guys to not be men of their word and bring back up, or I don't really know what that proved, but in any case, we'll talk about it. And WWE Raw coming up next year on Nuclear Heat on 93.7 The Ticket.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
Hi, it's Tom and Mike from Husker Rewind. And did you know that people who are represented by an attorney are often compensated up to 3 times more than someone who is not?
Friedman Law has been helping injured people for over 60 years. It's all they do. If you're ever seriously injured in an accident, call Friedman Law at 402-476-1093.
Friedman Law is a family firm that works hard for Nebraska families just like yours.
So if you're ever injured on the job or in a crash, contact Friedman Law at friedmanlaw.com.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Women may be complicated, but I make sure buying jewelry isn't. Your gal has a style, and you can figure this out. Is she more of a classic necklace kind of gal, or does she rock the boho chic vibe with layers of delicate bracelets? This is crucial intel. Not trusting your intel? Stop in the store and we'll sort out the details. I promise to make this super easy. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Pre-order your Hog Wild slow smoked Easter ham today. Hog Wild selects the highest quality whole ham and slow smokes them until they're tender and delicious. Our 100% boneless ham is approximately 4 pounds and $50. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com. Quantities are limited. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Hey, it's Chad with the Nutrition Authority, inviting you to stop in and check out the all-new complete post-workout recovery, CPR. CPR is ideal for anyone who works out or competes and wants to maximize results. CPR can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today and try a free sample or visit us at mynutritionauthority.com.
Spring is on its way. Are you prepared to keep the grass greener on your side? Blades Lawn and Landscape has a position opened at a homeowner association to their client list with residential and commercial openings also. Transform your yard into a private oasis with the professional services offered by Blades Lawn and Landscape, including landscape walls and beds and a 5-step fertilizer program applied by a licensed professional. Call them today at 402-730-6320 or go to bladeslcc.com to schedule a free estimate on commercial or residential lawn services.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Back to Nuclear Heat with your host, Jake Bakoven on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thanks for joining us. This is our WWE Week in Review show, Nuclear Heat. We're on our final segment. We're reviewing Raw. We did most of this of the Raw episode in the first segment. If you want to go back to the Ticket FM and download that if you missed out. But we still have do a few stories to get to here from Monday Night Raw last night in Chicago. Once again, I'm Jake Bachman with Nuclear Heat contributor Augie Pena. Let's start with this one. Ricochet and JD McDonough. Ricochet made it 3-0 against the Judgment Day in the recent weeks, defeating McDonough in an opening contest that was well shot, well choreographed, and just both those guys can obviously go with their athleticism. So it was a good one. Kind of odd though, because to me, I don't know that this is good for Ricochet, I suppose, but I just think Dom and JD McDonough definitely need a win, which is part of the story they might be telling leading up to a surprising win, but. It's just strange. I feel like I want to see one of the Judgment Day beat Ricochet now.
Yeah, and especially Dom. Like we've said, these are the two jobbers, and the backstage segment that they had beforehand. Where Rhea Ripley's like, just go finally win a match. Like that says something. Like they're gonna probably give them one more week to beat Ricochet, And then I think JD's probably, I think that's where they're leading. He's gone. But man, he looks great in the ring. Like, this was a great match. These were two guys that did really good. And, unfortunately they're going with, I think Ricochet's just going to be over. And then who knows what they go from. I don't know.
It's at least interesting. And it's good matches. So
yeah, it is.
It's just not going the way I want it. So that's why I'm frustrated. But then we go into the DIY versus New Day match. This continues the Judgment Day story of all things, because the Miz and R-Truth are sitting from the commentary table. This breaks out into all-out war when Judgment Day comes over to fight DIY and the New Day, break up their match. The Miz and R-Truth eventually do get involved. The Miz first, R-Truth reluctantly as part of the jokes, but ultimately you had Judgment Day standing tall.
I loved it. R-Truth, gold in this. To me, great. It was a good match because New Day and DIY, good. They're good in there. It was good. The commentary, I thought, kind of stole the show. R-Truth, talking there, and then the Judgment Day coming out. Like I said, when the Judgment Day went to stack him, he's like, go to commercial, and as if that would have stopped the beatdown. And
that's right.
That gets him involved in the match, and it's great gold. And I think they're doing a good job of building that story, because I'm one of the guys, I'm really behind R-Truth and the Miz now winning that tag team championship ladder match that they're going to have at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to book it. Just because the Judgment Day, it's not a streak type of title. They could lose it and win it the next week and it'd be just fine.
Yep.
Becky Lynch interrupts Rhea Ripley, who brought out Dom to start talking trash and felt disrespected that Becky wasn't paying enough attention to her. This erupted into a brawl. Rhea Ripley absolutely hits Dom, and they showed the replay of it over and over again. So even WWE liked the action of the punch. Rhea Ripley did say something about Becky Lynch's daughter, and said that she would call Rhea Ripley mommy. So it did get kind of spicy from there. So I thought this was a good matchup. Needing a group of people to pull two people out from a brawl is always fun.
Yeah, and it was good. I thought both women, delivered. I thought Becky was a little weak until Rhea kind of, when she mentioned the daughter, that kind of brought the fire back out, and that punch to Dom. I mean, that's gold. Dominic Mysterio, he's great at that. So yeah, I thought it was a good segment to move, for their match there.
Yeah, and then the final one, Sami Zayn losing to Bronson Reed, a bloodied Bronson Reed, and a good match from both of them. But they keep telling this story of Sami Zayn maybe not having what it takes to beat Gunther. Gunther came out and made his presence known, which was enough for the distraction for Big Bronson Reed to get the win over Sami Zayn. And then backstage, Chad Gable tells Sami Zayn that he needs a new approach ahead of his match with Gunther in Philadelphia. Maybe Master Gable going to help Sami Zayn get this victory, and they can both get what they want.
Yeah, no, I'm not for this. I'm one of those guys. I don't want to see Sami Zayn in this match, and I wanted to see Chad Gable. Everybody's saying it's going to be like a Rocky IV, training, to go up against Gunther. I mean, if they go down that storyline, fine. I think it'll be entertaining. It'll be funny, but I still think, fans are booing it. Fans are booing Sami Zayn right now. So I'm not too sure about this one.
Yeah, I just feel like with the rivalry that Gable and Gunther had, another match at WrestleMania would have been a fun lead up, but they ultimately went with Sammy again because they didn't really take care of his character after last year's WrestleMania. And so here they are. But it's still a lot of fun, and I'm still intrigued to see what happens. That'll wrap it up for Nuclear Heat this week. Once again, thanks for listening to our WWE Week in Review show. We will step away and let the next person jump inside. It's Chancellor Brewington coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, my name is